In this episode of the IT Experts podcast, I'll ask you a question. Are you the reason why your MSP isn't growing? Welcome to the IT Experts podcast, the only podcast to help MSPs scale to 1 million, and if already there, get to 5 and go faster. At the end of the day, isn't it all about building a business that works for you rather than you for it? I hope you enjoy the show. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the IT Experts podcast. Today's episode has been brought to me by one of the golden nuggets from one of our brand new clients who's just joined the Growth Hub, which is absolutely amazing. You know who you are. As soon as you start listening to this, you know who you are. I'm not going to reveal who you are, but he gave me a thought about doing a podcast around, are you the reason that your MSP is not growing? And what I mean by this is, what are you thinking about? Who's in control? What's going on? And what we're going to do today is I just want to run through some 5 key tips to help you maybe take back control of your business. At the end of the day, the reason that we're, in this game, the reason that you're growing your business is for your personal life, really, isn't it? It's got to be around personal growth. But how many times do we kind of think about this? So let me give you a bit of backstory. This client's a multi 7-figure MSP, extremely successful, under 10 people in his operations, and you're all probably going, "Oh my God, how on earth did he get like that?" But maybe some of you are asking, why on earth does he need to go and work in the Growth Hub? That's a great question. This guy is extremely ambitious, and he wants to just keep going. He absolutely loves what he's doing. Super ambitious, really nice bloke. Values align with everything that we do at the Growth Hub here, and he wants to go faster, but he knows there's something missing, and that's what he needs a bit of a hand with. And we were in a meeting a couple of weeks ago, and we were reflecting yesterday about the mindset of the people that were in the room, but more importantly, the size of the people that were in the room. Now, some of the businesses were, multi 6-figure businesses. Some of them were 7-figure businesses, all MSPs. And what he said was quite interesting, was that the amount of controls and the amount of decisions, the amount of people needed to be involved in the decisions of what was going on at the lower end of the scale, kind of like, 250 up to about 750, was interesting to him, because he's a multi 7-figure business. And he was, the kind of thing he said yesterday really made it resonate, was he says, these guys have just got to let go. They've just got to stop throttling the businesses, type of thing. I'm not sure I used that word, but I did. This show was going to be called "Are You Throttling Your MSP?" But I didn't think that would come out terribly well as a title. So, but what it was around the mindset, and it was around the controls. And what I want to do is I just want to run through 5 things that I was thinking about this morning that could help align with this. Because as Stuart always says, businesses grow to the size of the thinking of the owner. Okay, and as we've been doing a bit of work lately, we've refined that. And it's as simple as this. Your business will grow to the size of your thinking. And if you think that I've got to do this, I've got to measure this, I've got to do that, I've got to make sure that we don't spend any money on this, I can't invest in this, I can't invest in that. How does that kind of feel? Where when you start to let it flow and you trust the process and you understand how the business growth thing works, then all of a sudden you start to get into what we call flow. So look, it's only a short episode today, but let me just give you kind of the 5 things I was thinking about today as I was coming in that I could put together to share how we can strengthen our mindsets, to share how we can get more inspired, to share how, we can build that confidence slowly, that you can let go a little bit and not throttle the business, and make sure that you're not the one is the reason why your MSP isn't growing. So here we go. Top 1. Okay. We talk about your vision. We talk about arrive in the MSP journey. If you don't know about that, go and check out the recent podcast that Stuart and I did all about the MSP journey. And the last phase of arrive, which is kind of when you get to your 1.5 million or where you want to be, and you're either making the decision, am I going to exit? Am I going to sell it? Am I going to stay in board? Whatever you want to do. Arrive is different for everyone, but without personal vision, guess how that's going to pan out? As I often say, you're never going to go on holiday, fly a plane, or build a house unless you've got a plan. And that's exactly the same as when you've got a business as well. So I want you to think about what your vision is. What does 3 years' time look like for you? more time with the kids, more holidays, maybe more cars, more giving back to the community, whatever it might be, charity work. But whatever it is, reverse engineer it and then look back and go, well, what does that mean I've got to do in the next year? What have I got to do in the next 2 years? Have your vision, but put a plan to achieve the vision. Otherwise, it's just like fairy tales, isn't it? And unicorns and rainbows aren't going to grow many businesses that I know about. So number one, what is your vision? What's your personal vision? What do you want to achieve? And then attach to that a little bit around your business vision. The second one I want to talk about is, what are you measuring in your business? Now, we had a great Q&A yesterday with the Growth Hub clients. And as always, what always comes up is, how the earth do I measure marketing? Oh my God, if I had a penny or a pound for the amount of time that we answered this question, we would be millionaires by now for sure. But what gets measured gets done. There's some amazing books out there that help you to focus on what you measure. So, as a techie business owner, it's so easy to measure absolutely everything. How many times has the phone been answered? How many times have we had this query? How many times has this happened? How much money are we making on this particular client? But when you're building the confidence in terms of when your business is growing, I want you to be really careful about what you're measuring, and measure what matters. So KPI, important. Cash is king. Keep the boat afloat, for crying out loud. What's your cash flow looking like? The amount of people we talk to don't have a rolling cash flow. Really important. Profitability. Cash is one thing, but profit is really the main thing. How profitable are your individual clients? Use your PSA. Get your PSA set up correctly to do that. And if you are spending money on sales and marketing, what's the ROI? I speak to so many people who say, "Oh, well, I've done that. I've spent 50 grand on marketing in the last year." How much business have you closed off the back of it? Well, I haven't. Well, stop doing it then, because it's not paying up. With the marketing ROI, it's really, really simple. What you generally end up with is marketing agents will faff about, for want of a better phrase, nice little technical term there, at the top of the funnel, doing a bit of LinkedIn, doing a bit of Facebook, putting some content out there and hoping that one of those fishes is going to bite a hook. But the most important thing with any marketing and measuring marketing is what happens in the middle of the funnel. As you're moving people from cold to sold, as you're moving people from, moving down, and you're educating them in your services and what you're doing, what are you measuring in the middle? Is it downloads? Is it, cheat sheets? Is it webinar events? Is it a physical event? That's the thing you want to measure. Get your marketing company to tell you, how are you going to improve my conversion into the bit where they raise their hand and they come and say to us, "Hey, I want to come to your event. Hey, I want to download this information booklet. It looks really interesting," or whatever it might be. So I want you to be really careful about what you measure. But keep it simple. Don't throttle the business. Just keep it really, really simple. High level, couple of numbers is all you need to start with. And once you start digging into those numbers and you start seeing whether they're good or bad, then you can kind of drive it to the next level. Number 3, this was the key thing from yesterday's conversation. Who is making decisions in your business? We're just preparing a keynote speech for the Managed Service Summit. Like to see you there. Link in the show notes, in London and in Manchester in the next couple of weeks. And one of the things we talked about in there is who you get advice from. Who are you getting, is it your accountant? Because generally everyone thinks that accountants are really great at business growth, when they're not. In actual fact, generally they're not. They're very good at putting the numbers in the boxes and making sure that the inland revenue are off your back and everything's all looking tickety-boo, company's house. But in terms of making those boxes bigger, making the costs smaller, how does it actually work? How's the operations of an MSP work? They're not the ideal people. So, you wouldn't go to your GP and say to him, "Hey, could you take the appendix out for me, please?" So be really careful if you're asking your mum or your dad or your wife or your friends, "What do you think about this?" And they say, "Oh, that's a bit expensive," or "I wouldn't do that." "Oh, no, that's never worked." La, la, la. Be really careful who's making decisions for you. The MSP business model is, as we know, it's pretty straightforward, but so many other people make it so complicated. It's one of the most profitable business models in the world, and it doesn't need to be complicated. It doesn't need to be taxing. It doesn't need to have lots and lots of different people making lots and lots of decisions. This is about trusting the process. This is about making sure that you're in control. Remember, you've just got your KPI, you've just got your cash flow, you've just got all your other measurements in place. So then make sure that you're not throttling the business by asking too many people to make decisions on any investments, on any spend, on any ideas, or any type of things that you should be doing. and keep it super, super easy and super, super simple. So if you're the MD, you're the MD. You make the decisions. You don't need to go around and asking your wife and your best friend and your best man and the dog and all sorts of other people, oh, should I be doing this? Should I be doing this? Unless, here's a caveat, unless they're absolutely qualified to make a decision, they've had experience in making that type of decision before, they've had experience on what that decision leads to in terms of performance and results in your business, then by all means, yes. I'm not saying do this on your own because it's bloody hard work as it is, but be careful who you get to make your decisions with or who makes your decisions. So number 4 is about your time management. And time again, it doesn't matter what size business comes into the Growth Hub. We always say, if you can give us 10% of your time, we are going to be getting you some great results. Some of the guys bulk at that. 10%, I'm busy enough as it is. But I said, look, you'll find 5%. Me and Stuart will find the other 5. So don't you worry about that. But time management, time allocation, time blocking out, time prioritization, time discipline, time routine, whatever it's called, we've all got the same amount of time in each day. If we say we're busy, it just means that we're kind of unorganized and we're not delegating properly. So one of the analogies that we use fairly often is the 10, 100, £1,000 tasks. And this relates to a £10 skill level, £100 skill level, £1,000 skill level per hour task. So £10 would be admin, £100 would be like middle management, and £1,000 is what you guys should be doing, which is the strategic deal closing, the strategic putting your pricing and your packaging together, the strategic closing of deals and things like that. So I want you to be aware of when you're working, are you working on a £10, £100,000, 10, 100 or £1,000 task? If you're working on a £10 task, I want you to stop it and work out how you can either not do it or delegate it to someone else. Give them a bit of training, send them a Loom video, give them a little bit of an instruction, and then get someone else to cover that off for you right now. 4 years ago, if you'd have said to me, Ian, you're never going to touch your email box again unless I tell you, I'd have absolutely pat myself. But now, Joanna, my amazing PA, she deals with all my emails, all the invites, all the bookings. And guess what? She's actually better at it than I am, which is fantastic because I don't enjoy doing it. So the £100 tasks are all around you, like your up and coming leaders, your senior management team or your senior techs. They're going to be working at a higher level. So this could be creating 90% of a quote. It could be dealing with some the senior, more escalation type of things that goes on in your call center. And then I want you to start tracking your £1,000 tasks. How much time are you spending on your £1,000 tasks, and looking at delegating that time out as well. Then number 5 is, last but not least, it's around regular reviewing. I'm constantly having conversations, which I don't mind having, by the way, with our clients about how often they're having non-technical, proper structured strategic meetings with their business, either giving them a monthly update on performance, either giving them a weekly update on what's going on, either working closely with your leadership team. Now, the key thing here is about consistency. All it is. If you say you're going to do something, do it. Because if you're not going to do it, you're actually going to do even more damage. So, look, hey guys, we're going to do a Monday morning meeting. We're going to get everything set up for the week so I don't have to keep dipping in and out, and then you can just come to me for escalations. They're going to be waiting for you to fail, okay? They're going to be waiting, yeah, all right, Ian, yeah, okay, we'll see you at 9 o'clock. It'll be 9:15, and it won't be half-hour meeting. It'll go on for an hour. They'll be waiting for you to fail, and they'll be waiting for it to not. So just be consistent. Do what you say you're going to do. When I was 26 and I was working for Virgin Media, it was one of the things that I was told straight away from one of my bosses was, do what you say you're going to do. Even if it means you've got to go back and say, hey, look, guys, been a bit of a delay in this, or haven't quite got that information. Make sure you communicate. Make sure that you're consistent and do what you say you're going to do. It's kind of like the golden rule for leadership. So look, that was it. 5 simple tips there. Don't throttle your business. Don't get yourself overwhelmed by trying to measure everything. Don't try and do every single thing, at once. Your mum, I'm sure, is absolutely lovely, but unless she's built another multi-million pound MSP, I'd kind of like lay off maybe some of the decisions that you'd be asking her to make. I do say that a little bit tongue in cheek, by the way. It could apply to your dad or any other member of your family. Get yourself organised with your time management, and then make sure you're regularly reviewing it and being consistent. Get into flow. Work out what your flow is. Trust the process. The process around building a sustainable MSP is a straightforward one. It's us that make it complicated. And finally, just work out who else you need to connect within the channel who can help you, give you advice, give you support, tell you what they've done, like the guy I was talking about who's inspired this podcast here. You know, the learnings, the information, not only we're going to help him with, but he's going to help out others is absolutely amazing. So Tech Tribe, CompTIA, you know, come and check out the Growth Hub, see what we're doing here. Hope that's been of use to you today. Hope it's been a little bit of a kick up the arse to say, right, let me just take a look at myself and let's just listen back to this again. What do I need to reflect on? What do I need to change? And if you just change one thing, A, you'll be doing a hell of a lot more than everyone else who's on a race to the bottom. And number two, you'll be looking to making your life a little bit easier. So I hope you enjoyed this show. Enjoy the rest of your day. Come and see us on the 14th of September in London at the Managed Service Summit. That'll be absolutely great. Also, keep an eye out for Manchester as well. And we're going to be at CompTIA 2 at the end of the month, end of October. So you go and have a great day. Be good. Take care. Look after yourselves. And I look forward to connecting with you soon. All the best now. So I hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, I'd love it if you could leave a rating and review on your favourite podcast platform. If you want to learn more about how to take your MSP to $1 million, or if you're already there, go faster, then come and join Stuart Warwick and myself in the Scale with Confidence Facebook group. The link is in the show notes. You go and enjoy the rest of your day, and I look forward to connecting with you soon.